Everyone, welcome back to another episode of Friends from Work. I'm Tom. This is Sean. And on today's episode, we're going to be breaking down Babylon, directed and written by Damien Chazelle. But before we do that, do us a favor. Leave a like right now. Subscribe down below. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Links are on the screen and down below. And other than that, Sean, you can say your thoughts first. Do it like a quick little thing, and then some points you want to bring
jump right
up.
into it. I really didn't like it that much.
Wow.
I was kind of looking forward to it because I realized that was the guy who wrote and directed this. He wrote and directed Whiplash, right?
Yeah, Whiplash and La La Land.
And I really liked Whiplash. I
Yeah.
thought that movie was fire. Unlike that movie, I felt like this one had no direction. I was just all over the place. And honestly, to me, it kind of felt like two different movies, like trying to smush together. I think if they would have just shot the first half as like a 2-hour movie and then the second half as like the second part, maybe I think it would have done better. But like I said, it was just really disorienting and just all over the place. I feel like they introduced you to like 4 or 5 characters and then you kind of got invested and then you just never hear from them again, or like they never follow up with it. Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie were pretty interesting, and they pop in the screen as they should. But again, I just thought their storyline and arcs were kind of blah. And I don't know. I think I'm just tired of Margot Robbie. I guess she's cute. I don't think she's a crazy good actress, and I don't think she does like these Oscar-worthy performances. I just think like she gets put in the right role where she's super hot. Where she's super hot, like Wolf of Wall Street. Where it's like, was she good in that movie, or was she just hot? Like, same. You know what I mean? Same with Suicide Squad. Did she fucking do something that some other chick couldn't do, or was she just really hot while she did it? I think we're getting to that point. No offense to her. I mean, she's doing her thing, but I don't think she like killed it like acting in this movie. And again, like I said, her character popped, but I think it's more just because she's cute and she knows how to pop on the screen.
I disagree with Sean in the sense of I really enjoyed it. It was refreshing for me, especially because I saw Avatar first and then this one. And if you saw our episode on Avatar, I did not like it as much. But similar in contrast regarding the time, this was excuse me, Babylon was 3 hours and 9 minutes, and Avatar was 3 hours and 12, and I felt the massive difference. This one, he may not have liked it, but you could agree or disagree. I think this movie was a lot better paced. I didn't feel like it was 3 hours. I experienced it in the theater. So when sitting it once through without interruption, I assumed you had interruptions watching it.
Yes, this one, yes, I did. Avatar, I didn't. That might hurt it as well. I did watch it in like 3 different sittings where I had to stop and come back. But I don't know. I don't know if the pacing was bad or if it was just all over the place, so it felt like the pacing was off. I just felt like we got blue balled with a lot of the people they introduced and what they were going to do and what was going to happen, and then, like I said, in the middle of the movie, they kind of just switched focus about what the whole movie was about into something completely different, and then you're like, what the fuck? What about all that other shit we were just doing?
Yeah. So basically the general plot, I'll go off your point. General plot was they're transitioning from silent films into talkies.
But I feel like that was the second part of the movie. The first part of the movie was just like getting fucked up. Like, it was just the party scene.
No, they were just, that was the Roaring, that was to show how the Roaring Twenties was.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what it was. I'm just saying, like, that was the first part of the movie, and then the second part was them transitioning. And I felt like they didn't have enough time to get what they wanted to get done in the second part.
I think they did.
I don't know. I don't know. I felt like it was like 2 different movies they pushed together. Like, they kind of flowed together, but the undertone of the first part of the movie felt different than the second part.
I disagree with that because I mean the intro was it was a holy shit. Way to hook your audience, by the way.
I don't know if hook's the word.
Well, like, you just take it so much in, and it was just really just a lot was happening.
It's disgusting.
It was so weird.
It's disgusting as a word.
Definitely the most weirdest shit I've seen. I would say top 5 shit I've seen in movies for like
in a mainstream movie like that. It's definitely up there. Like, but the
yeah.
opening scene is like an elephant shitting on a guy.
Yeah,
and not like a comedically funny like.
It was like pure shit. It's
it was
on
like
the camera
some,
and everything.
This elephant is lactose intolerant, and they gave it some ice cream, and then it shit on him. Like, it
was so.
And then like 3 minutes after that, some guy gets peed on. Yeah. And you're like, what the hell is this movie?
It's so funny. That was disgusting. It was so wild. But yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I think it was a really, really well done. Comparatively to the other ones, I think this is the worst, I will say, out of Whiplash and La La Land.
Yes.
I will say that. But
Definitely.
yeah, those are Whiplash. That was such a phenomenal. I've only seen it once. I want to watch it again. It's been a
Whiplash is
while.
really fucking good.
It's so good. But I really did enjoy it. Let me say some reasons why. I forgot to write some notes down, so I'm just going off thoughts. The pacing was really well done. I really enjoyed, like you said, Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. I really enjoyed them on screen. I like Brad Pitt's character because it reminded me a lot of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where it's kind of like that similar situation.
Yeah.
Where instead of Leonardo DiCaprio, it's Brad Pitt this time. He's like, it's coming. It's my time. And Margot Robbie, I compared a lot watching this. I was like, Margot Robbie's like the same character she was in Once Upon a Time. She's this newcomer, and she's the biggest star. She was like a minor character in Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, she wasn't that big.
No, she was just playing the part. But it felt like the same plot. I will say that. Where it was like, all right, they're out with the old, in with the new.
There's a couple movies that are kind of about the same thing. I can't think of off the top of my head, but several movies about like the transition from the silent era to the sound era or whatever they call it.
Yeah, the talkies they call it.
Yeah, the talkies.
I think it was. I totally didn't understand. I guess I understood to an extent why they. I don't know the actor's name, but the character Manny.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fully understand, or I didn't 100% agree with him in it, and to become like this big time like studio executive. That didn't make too much sense to me. I mean, I understood.
I feel like that's how I feel about the whole movie. Is how I would describe it. Is it didn't make too much sense to me. I mean, obviously there are things that make sense. So you know what I mean. It's not completely incoherent. I just felt like, why do that? Why do this? Why do that? If this is what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I felt like that's how I felt the whole entire movie. Where like, and like it didn't look bad, and like the acting wasn't horrible. It just felt like, I don't know, like slapstick sometimes, or like
it was
they were
definitely
just
slapstick. I would say that.
like
the
I don't
comedy
know.
was funny.
Yeah, sometimes it was, but I thought it was just I don't know. With those I didn't go into it like wanting to laugh, so maybe that's just why I didn't like
Yeah,
it.
there was some part. Yeah, I was expecting more drama, but I will say the movie is chaotic in a good way for me. That's how I felt. It was a good chaotic way, and what was the word I was looking for? One thing I do, two things I truly was disappointed about. Who is that jazz player? The trumpet guy.
Louis Armstrong, or was that what he's supposed to be? I forget. No, I don't know. I can't remember.
Sydney or. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know you're
anyway,
talking about
the
only like main trumpet player. They were like there was a lot of close up on trumpet players, but the only one you knew.
They were like they worked on. It was like I didn't understand him being in it because they really only time they showed him was like obviously playing the trumpet, but like at least with everyone else you saw like their growth, you saw like their personal life. With him, it was just you're on screen, play the trumpet. I was like that was pointless in my head. If you don't want to build backstory for him, just don't put him in it. That didn't seem too important to me. Just because it was just like, he's just kind of there.
I feel like a lot of people were just kind of there. That's what I'm saying. Like I think this guy made some dope movies lately, and they gave him like a blank check to make a movie with famous people, and he just did too much.
I liked it. I think it was. I liked the chaos of it all.
I don't really like that in a movie. Like, I don't necessarily. I like some kind of like continuity and like connection, and I just felt like this was just like an attack on my senses. Where like the beginning of the movie was a lot of bright colors and swirling and weird jazz music, and then they're like, now we're gonna do transitioning to the new era of.
Well, yeah, I think that was clearly intentional. Though.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was.
It's because Jack was so used to being like the A-lister and like.
But I just feel like that part didn't end. They just were like, all right, we're doing this now. They didn't like end that loop. They were just like, all right, we're gonna.
That's what I was saying. I was like, they wanted to show like, he's the man, and then it gets ripped out of him because like, and I forgot the reporter's name, but the Gossip Gazette girl.
Yeah.
She even said it was like this just happens in Hollywood. There's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, like again, I guess it was foreshadowing or whatever, but I don't know. Just like I said, I didn't like it. I mean,
Sean liked Avatar more than this, which is fucking retarded.
Avatar, well, the world liked Avatar more. It's gonna sell like 10 million more. Like that's an understatement. How many more? Like 1 billion more views than Babylon.
I will say, but that's a franchise, and I do want to have a discussion with films like this. And stop raping the mic with your breaths. With Babylon and films like this and franchises, I do want to have that discussion at the end of this episode. But yeah, I like that. What was the part I was gonna bring up? Tobey Maguire. I was kind of disappointed. That shit was weird. This movie was weird as shit. Like I will agree. There was so much weird shit happening, and I don't know how much of it. What are you doing, coke? He watches Babylon. He's like, I'm on coke now. I want to know how much of like this shit really was happening in the 20s and 30s. Like if this was like, I mean, the parties, I believe 100%, but I want to know if there's like that 3-layer underground shit, the man eating rats. I want to know if this is real or not.
Probably something like that.
It's just so weird.
Rich people were probably bored as shit back then.
Yeah, that is true. They didn't have any porn or anything. But no, I wish. This is my overall feelings on Tobey Maguire in general. I think the greatest example, I think, is a really underrated actor, in my opinion, just because post Spider-Man.
I think he's just typecast.
Yeah, and like, what was it? Brothers? Was him and Jake Gyllenhaal? Yeah. That was the name. Fucking amazing. I love him in that.
That movie's crazy.
So good, and he was so good. And I'm like,
fucking love you.
Yeah, it was so good. Like, and I feel like he gets wasted a lot just because he's like, oh, Spider-Man.
Yeah. Or I mean, that's everybody.
Guy.
Daniel Radcliffe. They always want him to be somebody silly.
It's unfortunate, but like even with Daniel Radcliffe, he's had more. Maybe Toby's being pretentious or picky with certain roles, because even Daniel Radcliffe, you could same argument, but he's been like in multiple movies.
But he takes like a huge pay cut to do movies that he likes.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like there's maybe some pretentious.
Toby, well, and he made way more money than Toby ever did. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Toby had 3 movies, and only one of them was like iconic. The Harry Potter's, they did 8. Yeah. And they were all like, fuck, and you know what I mean? I think he got paid like $30 million each the last 2.
Yeah.
And that's just like his salary. I'm assuming he gets
residuals.
Yes, he definitely has it more than anyone. Like him, or maybe J.K. Rowling probably gets the most.
Yeah.
But after her, it's got to be him. So he's probably getting like 1% of what Harry Potter does every year, which is probably
10 million.
Yeah, easy. Like,
because what Friends makes each cast member of Friends is like 10 million
a year. Yeah, so Harry
Potter's
got
$1 million, right?
No, I think it's more than $1 million.
I think it was 10. I remember it was 1
a year.
1 something. So, but maybe it is 10.
Yeah, there's definitely more than. So it's
like.
I
was thinking they were making $1 million per episode the last season. And they do it each year. They make 10 million.
It's like so he's got to be getting. I'd say 20.
Yeah. But yeah, that I wish they used him more. Because they were using him a lot in the trailer.
Yeah, that was one thing I didn't like either. I felt like. That again, I felt like it was the character they introduced us to. They showed him in the trailer, so we're like, "Oh, we're definitely going to see where this goes." Yeah. And then like,
I didn't think it was going to be a main character.
No, I just feel like
a main
he wasn't going to disappear, and we didn't ever know.
Yeah,
what was gonna happen
but it was just that one fucking scene.
Yeah,
or that one scene set, whatever you want to call it. I was disappointed with that because, like I said earlier, Tobey Maguire is really underrated. I think if you give him the opportunity, he's gonna eat that role. But again, I think that's also on him too, of him wanting to do.
Yeah, like I said, Daniel Radcliffe takes huge pay cuts to do.
But he does a lot.
Yeah, to do to not have to do the movies that they want him to do.
Yeah, but I wish Toby was like a little more to give him more light. What's the one thing I wanted to bring up? That was my biggest disappointment with that movie. But overall, the way I saw this movie was like how much Damien Chazelle loves films, because if you watch the outro, it's just like a montage of all like films and how much they appreciate it.
Yeah, it was like an epilogue or prologue or whatever you want to call it. Of like, I guess, like I said, I don't know. He got a little too artsy for me with this one.
I didn't mind it. But this goes into my next discussion before, because we'll still rate it, but we'll save it for the very end. So last time I checked, the opening weekend it was like $4 million, and so that's a flop because I think the movie cost like 20 or.
He 30. Said I thought 70 million or something.
Oh, I know I was a huge. I
know that. I think when I was reading, they said that they paid Giselle 70 million for this, or they gave him a budget of 70 million.
Okay, so the budget was 70 million. They made for opening weekend. I remember it was like 3.5 or 4 or something like that for opening weekend. And that, I mean, was it the same week? No, it was a weekend after
Avatar, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it was just last weekend, right? Avatar's been out for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, it came out Christmas weekend.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, about a week. And that could just kind of shows on why it flopped. Sean, I mean, he didn't like it, but it's not an awful film. Like, I think it's
I will say that I don't think it's an awful film.
like
I
to
just think
flop like that. But that brings into the go ahead.
no. I don't think I wouldn't say it was awful. No, I just didn't like it.
Yeah. But I think that brings into the. I wanted to have this discussion for a while, but this was the best example I can bring up for current times instead of bringing up old movies and stuff like that. On where movies and films are going in general, is that if it's not a franchise, it's not going to do well for the most part.
True.
You can. There's exceptions, but this is a generalization. This is a prime example right here.
I just think
you
that
had
was
Margot
just
Robbie, Brad Pitt.
yeah, but it
and,
was about the fucking Roaring 20s.
But that's what I'm saying. It's
and the silent, like, yeah, you can't make a movie about that. If it was
But-
Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, and they were robbing a fucking bank and fucking zombies were chasing
But that's
them,
the
like,
point, though. That's the point I'm trying to make, though. Is like you can make those big franchise.
well, people don't
movies.
like that. Like, you can make
No,
make
that's what I'm
whatever
saying,
artsy
though.
fartsy movie you want, but people don't want to see. People aren't gonna go pay to go sit on a date to watch that.
They
Like,
used to. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
No.
yes,
What
they
movie?
Did.
a lot of movies flopped in theaters. and
Captain Phillips.
Did that do good in theater? I mean,
Yeah.
it probably was I don't know. I think it won a lot of awards. How many? I don't think Captain Phillips did good.
It did good.
I don't know.
Look it
Maybe.
up.
And Captain Phillips is like that's about a real life thing where a guy got fucking.
Well, that's what I was saying, but it's not a franchise.
Yes,
what I'm
but that's
saying. Avatar's
that was an
franchise.
action movie though. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it has to be a franchise. It has to be something interesting.
But it wasn't big and explosion. It was about the story.
yeah, but it was an action thing about a fucking pirates taking over a ship and a captain saving them. Like that's an action movie. That's like Die Hard. Like
we'll go.
but
we'll
with
go
pirates.
Whiplash. Whiplash.
Did Whiplash do good? I just think it
Yeah.
won awards. Did it do? I don't. Like I said, I
Yes,
don't think
it did.
Whiplash did numbers.
La
like
La Land did numbers too.
no, I
and
think
won
those
awards.
movies won awards. I don't think they did great in the box office.
did.
No, well, I don't have my
Google.
phone.
Oh, no, yeah, exactly.
Well, it was. I needed to charge it, but
But I'm saying like you can't make. What I'm saying is, it's gonna be harder to like. Okay, let's say they didn't do well in the box office. We'll go with that. We'll use because Babylon didn't do well in the box office. We'll use that because we both know that's a fact. We don't have the numbers for Whiplash and La La Land, etc. But what I'm saying is, it's gonna dampen or damage the likelihood of seeing these one-off films because at the end of the day, Hollywood is focused on money. And it is a business, so I do understand, but it's going to lead into the point. It's like we're only going to see, Ben Affleck can say this, we're only going to see superhero or basic action movies. Like I said, we're not going to see the
well,
films
yeah. If you'll say that, but
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
think it's
saying.
just sequels. I think it's something action based that people are interested in. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be a sequel to some movie that already was good. It just has to be. Like I said, The Wolf of Wall Street was just a one-off.
But
movie.
that was then too.
Was it? I mean, that was what 8 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's a lot different now.
Oh,
You can't say I don't know. It's fact.
well, there was a lot of sequels then too. Transformers were coming out, The Avengers, all
but
that
it
shit was
still
coming
a
out.
Mixed balance.
But what I'm saying was like in the midst of all that. What I'm saying is like
in the
movies
last
like
4 or 5
it don't have to be
years,
that. I'm just saying it would have to be a movie like that.
I would
that's
say post 2016.
fast-paced,
Post
funny.
2016, you start seeing a change.
Like I said,
That's a
I
fact.
don't have my phone in front. I mean, I'm not saying there's a fact. I'm just saying that I could probably, if I had a list in front of me, a bunch of movies post 2016 that weren't sequels that did just fine.
I agree, but I'm saying it's
I
becoming
think
on minority.
what I'm
That's
saying
my
is this
argument.
movie was about something boring. Whiplash was about a fucking drummer. Like everyone loves drummers.
It was about fucking jazz. Who gives a shit about jazz? But I agree. Whiplash
No.
is good, but who gives a fuck about jazz? Who?
A lot of
There-
people.
Yeah, but a lot of people care about Roaring Twenties too.
No, I don't think so.
It's
More
the
so.
same demographic, basically.
Yeah.
You can't.
No,
like,
I
you
wouldn't say
can't-
it's the same
You can't say,
demographic.
it wasn't fucking. It was about a geeky jazz kid who wanted to play drums.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a rock band. Like people will go see a fucking rock movie.
And
there
again,
are
and what I'm saying is like, I just think that's a great movie. We don't have the numbers in front of us, but I'm almost positive Whiplash did not do very well in the box office. And I guarantee it did not have a. The only reason it probably did well was because the budget wasn't $70 million like Babylon. It was probably way less. Like Whiplash didn't do good. Text a random person on your phone and ask them if they've seen Whiplash. I guarantee they say no.
I think they've definitely seen it. At this point.
No, not definitely. No, they didn't. You're just a movie guy, so you watch shit. Like nobody. Whiplash was not popular.
Whiplash. What do I put?
Box office.
Box office. 40. Oh, here we go. Can you fucking move? Here we go. 49 million it made.
In general, that's
yeah.
not shit.
With a budget of 3.3.
That's what I'm saying. So it did. That's why it did great. How many do opening weekend? Whiplash. I bet you it's like 4. You know what I mean? I bet you it's nothing crazy. It's not like I said. That's just like, again, I agree in some sense, but I think Whiplash isn't good, or Captain Phillips is a good example because that's like an action movie. Like people didn't.
It wasn't fucking action.
It was about pirates capturing a ship with Americans. Well, either way, like I said, 46 is ass. Avatar did $1 billion.
That's the issue I'm saying though. Is like the point. Let me finish before you interrupt. The point I'm saying is Hollywood, the businesses are seeing. All right, Avatar's making this much, and Babylon is making this much. So we're only going to lean towards that, and it's going to push the directors, writers, and artists in general to be like, all right, well, we can't make what you said, the artsy movies, because it's going to get thrown out. No one's going to, what are they called? Studios are going to.
Well, that's not true. You just can't put 70 million in them. If you're going to put 3 and make 40, that's fine. That's what I'm saying. You just, like I said, they can't throw that budget at it. But Babylon could have been just as great of a movie without all those visuals.
Yeah.
So, like, he just did that because he had the budget to do that.
Yeah,
we've already seen him make a masterpiece with a budget of $3 million.
Yeah, La La Land made $500 million in the box office.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's better than I thought, but that's still not crazy.
No, I mean, I agree, but I'm saying is like that. My overall issue is like I
think as a cop out, like Babylon wasn't good. If it was really good, it might not have had an opening weekend, but everybody been like, "Oh, this is fire." We've been seeing clips; they've been going viral, and people wouldn't watch it.
But what I'm saying is like those types of movies. I'm not saying I'm just using those because of the numbers specifically of recent. The 2 most recent movies that came out in general. But I think it's going to be an overall issue moving forward. Regarding,
I think it's always been an issue. I don't think,
it's been a growing issue. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna get worse and worse.
I just think we had we had a secondary market. We don't have a secondary market before. We used to have like DVDs, and like if your movie sucked, you know what I mean. You still promoted it. Maybe like you said, it was just a bad weekend. Your movie came out. Avatar came out the week before. It came out during Christmas time. People didn't have the money, or like they didn't like the name. You didn't have a flashy poster for whatever reason. But we used to have a secondary market of DVDs and things. Now I just feel like it's a now market. And it's like if your fucking movie sucks, like it won't even make it on a streaming platform. No one's ever gonna watch it. And it's like I think that's the problem. I think that's always been a problem, that people make a too artsy of a movie and it doesn't do well because it's 3 hours long and nobody wants to take their girl on a date for a 3 hour and 15-minute movie. So like I said, I don't think it's a new problem.
Well, you can't say that because Avatar's a 3 hour and 15-minute movie.
Yeah, no, but it's got cool visuals. And
it's a franchise. That's exactly my point.
But it wasn't a franchise to start, though. The initial movie did good because it's big blue people fighting on a different world, and they're giant and blue, and it's colorful. Like it did good before it was a franchise. It did it did what it did now before it was a franchise.
Yes, but what I'm saying
so it's not. You can't say it's like at one point Avatar was a franchise, and we didn't know there was going to be another one.
We'll use your point. It's a big action movie. That's what I'm saying. You can do
I'm not saying it has. It's not the sequel part doesn't have as much to do with it.
But I'm using your point. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's an action movie. It's a little basic bullshit where it's just, oh, look, I'm a big Avatar. I shoot shit. Like
that's people. People are basic.
And I'm not saying I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying it's like.
But those are the movies that always did well. Rambo, Terminator.
Right.
You know
those are better than fucking Avatar.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Shut up.
Maybe.
Such a fucking retard.
Maybe 2 of the Terminators are better than fucking Avatar. All the rest of them, no.
No, I agree.
Yeah, but
first 3 are,
and maybe the first
3.
The first 2, I'll say for sure. I thought the first Avatar was good, but either way, what I'm saying, it's still an action movie. There's people who don't like the fucking Terminator. Like, it's still fun. There was people when Terminator came out, old fucks who were like, this movie's fucking stupid.
But the argument I am making is we're gonna get more of these right now, not overall. Right now, moving forward, we're gonna get only franchise movies where it's gonna, like I said, here I got funded fucking 3 and 4 for Avatar.
But what I'm saying is every franchise movie.
No. Avengers, like it's all gonna go down there. Like I'm not saying that's bad. I am saying it's bad, or it's not bad because I mean you see our channel, guys. Like we fucking review all, like we love Marvel, we love nerdy shit, but I like other shit too, and I think we're not gonna see as much of that. And if we do, it's gonna not be promoted, and I might not even know about it. That's what I'm saying. It's like the studios are leaning more towards the superhero aspect, which I understand. It's a big profit margin. I understand as a business you want to lean towards that, but we're not going to get classics or possible classics because no one knew Whiplash was going to be iconic. No one knew Forrest Gump was going to be iconic. I'm saying all these movies that we know are iconic, they didn't know that until they dropped it. That's what I'm saying is that's the issue.
Well, they could still do that. Babylon could have did that and been iconic. It wasn't.
No, I was just using it for the most recent, but I'm saying in general, it's going to become.
I don't think it'll be hard. If you make a fucking good movie, people are going to watch it. They're going to like it.
No, I'm not saying, but you're missing the point. The point is the studios give the money to Damien Chazelle or James Cameron or whatever, but they're going to give it to the guy who knows how to do it ABC format, simple stuff, because what else? We're for sure going to make our money back. And they're not going to take the said risk of, all right, well, we don't know. This is the first of it. This is not a typical movie we fund. This is a more integral plot or storyline.
That's always how it's been.
But it's getting worse.
Artsy-fartsy movie got a huge budget, their first one?
No, I agree. But the point I'm saying is they aren't going to do that. It's not going to be as likely.
That's not.
Because they see they can make 15 Avengers movies,
what I'm saying
and they're
is
not going to do
that's
it.
not something new. That's just how it always was. If they don't give you lots of money for movies they don't think aren't going to work. And just like the Avengers was popular now, in the fucking 80s, Rambo was popular. It's the same shit. Boom, explosions, badass guy, kill everybody.
I agree with that, but
so I'm kind of agreeing with what I'm saying is it's nothing that happened in 2016. That's always how the movie industry has been.
But it's been growing more and more because, like I said, and
I just think they get promoted a lot less. But go to every week, there's a new movie out that isn't a superhero movie.
Yeah,
that's got a fucking $20 million budget with 5 superstars in it. And people just don't like that anymore. For whatever reason, I'm not necessarily me, but I'm just saying people aren't watching that shit. That's not what they're going to see. But I check the movie theaters every week. There's a new movie that I haven't seen with some famous person I don't know. That's got some supposedly interesting plot that I'm gonna like, and it just isn't. I do think people's attention spans are lower. What they want to go see at the movie theater is lesser. But like I said, I don't think it's something that we just transitioned to lately. I just think it's more on display as of late because the advertising we get is so focused on the singular consumer instead of all encompassing. It used to be we'll just promote every movie. You know what I mean? We'll do a bare bones commercial and it show all the movies that are in theaters this week. And now it's just we're only showing Avengers. You know what I mean? And if you want to go see Avengers, you know what I mean? You'll see that there's other movies in the theaters when you go see Avengers. So like I said, I do agree with that, but I don't think it's something that happened now. That's where fucking all it was always the sequels, the fucking action-packed movies with fucking the big directors and the big cast always did the best in the movie theaters, and the other movies suffered unless they came out in a good time. You got lucky and you came out and there was no other hit movies out at that time. But I think to go back to what I was trying to say before, Avatar wasn't always a sequel. It was this individual movie that we never seen before with a bunch of weird people, and it did well.
Action movie.
To an extent, yes. But like I said, that's you got to kind of do some kind of. It don't have to necessarily be as action packed as that, but if nobody knows your story and you don't have anything built, you got to have something in it that's drawing people. Nobody look at all the movies that win was it Oscars, right? The
Oscars, Academy Awards.
The Academy Awards. People don't like those movies. Regular people that you know.
True.
I
you know
what I mean? Go look. We take we should do that as a fucking thing. We'll take the top 5 movies from the Academy Awards and go and ask strangers, hey, how'd you like this movie? They probably didn't fucking see it.
Comment down below if you should do something right into the mic. This is why our podcast is shit because of you.
Let's give your ranking for Babylon.
I would give it. I have 2 ratings. Because I keep debating back and forth in my head.
He didn't give Avatar 2 ratings.
Oh, no, fuck Avatar. Fuck off.
How did you like this? Babylon is not better than Avatar. I don't care what anyone says.
In my opinion, it is. Fuck Avatar 2.
Giselle and you are the only 2 people who think that. Brad Pitt thinks Avatar is better than Babylon.
Who's Giselle?
Or that guy, right? Giselle, the director, Giselle. Chazelle. Sorry. Chazelle, sorry. This guy fucking thought the daughter in fucking Avatar's name was Kitty, and I pronounced Giselle wrong, and that's
Well, they have accents and shit. This guy's simple. They got no accents. I'd probably give Babylon do 5.8, 5.8.
I would give it a 5. Like I said, it was the acting was okay, visuals were okay. I just thought,
Yeah, the plot wasn't.
I just
super
didn't care. That's all I'm gonna say. I didn't care. And like we could talk about Avatar all you want, and it was boring in the middle, but there's just things I cared about in that movie. Like I mean, there's just nothing I cared about in Babylon. They didn't do a good job of latching me in and making me care about anything that was going on.
Yeah, maybe that comes down. I think maybe possibly it comes down to the experience here because, like I said, I was able to sit down.
Yeah, again, maybe if I thought through it, but again, there was just parts I didn't like, and again, I'm a human being just like other. I like action movies too, and if you're not gonna have any of that in it, the action's got to be A1, and like what everything else is going on is gonna be A1. I'm gonna be hypercritical of your movie if you decide, you know what, I'm not gonna put any of the aspects that people love in my movie.
Yeah.
Then you gotta kill it, and I don't think they did with this one.
Alrighty, guys. So that is our episode. Do us a favor, comment down below what you thought of Babylon and what we should review next. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Also on Instagram and TikTok. Links are on the screen and down below. And once again, I'm Tom. This is Sean. And we'll see you guys next episode. Take care.